So today we're doing notes on 10.2, which is basically the product rules for exponents. Okay, so my objective is I can apply the exponent product rules to solve problems. Okay, don't forget to be writing your learner's question based off of this. Okay, so our first product rule is product of powers, okay, which means I have some number to the m, or some number, times that same number to another number. It could be the same, could be different, okay? And so when we're multiplying powers that have the same base, okay, we multiply the exponents and keep the base the same, okay? So over on your foldable, okay, so we just did product of powers. Okay, you're going to flip up, okay? So we have a to the m times a to the n, okay? Oh, not multiply. Bad, Miss Hart. Okay, that's add. I'm sorry. That should be add. Okay, so you're multiplying those two powers, so you're adding the exponents. Okay. So we're going to do the example on here, and then we're also going to do the examples that are on this paper. Okay, so I have 5. So 5 is my base. Okay, and 2 and 3 are my m and my n. So I'm adding 2 plus 3, which equals, 2 plus 3, which equals 5 to the 5th. Okay. Okay, and then over here, we have 2 to the 4th times 2 to the 5th. So 2 is my A, okay, and then 4 and 5 are my M and my N. Okay, so I have 2 to the 4 plus 5, like that. 4 plus 5 is 9. Okay, and a lot of times you're going to see that it says write it as a power, okay, which means write it like that. Okay, okay, then we have the second one, okay. So this is -5 times -5 to the 7th. Well, -5 is just -5 to the 1. So I went ahead and wrote that so that I know that I'm adding 1 and 7, not 0 and 7. Okay, so -5, and remember if it's in parentheses, if it starts in parentheses, you need to leave it in parentheses. Okay, so now I have 1 plus 7, which equals -5 to the 8th. Okay, and I want you to leave that negative on there. Even though I have an even number of them and the negatives would cancel out, okay, I want you to leave the negative on. Okay? Okay, last one for this example. So I have x to the 3rd times x to the 7th. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm adding the 3 and the 7, which gives me x to the 10th. Okay? Okay. So now we have power of a power. So now if I have the power to find the power of a power, so that's a to the m to the nth power, okay? This is where I multiply the exponents, okay, and keep the base the same, okay? So over on your foldable, okay, so this is where you can go to find them all just written out, okay? So power of a power is when I have a to the m to the n power, my a stays the same, and then I multiply m times n. Okay, so over here in my example, I have 4 squared, and that's taken to the 3rd power, so I'm multiplying that by 3, which gives me 4 to the 6th power. Okay, so some examples. Okay, we have 3 to the 4th to the 3rd, so I have 3 to the 4 times 3, and 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, and hopefully you remember this from the notes yesterday, the activity, because I have 3 to the 4th times 3 to the 4th times 3 to the 4th, and if I add 4 plus 4 plus 4, just like I could up here, okay, we said I could add, okay, cross that out real good. It becomes 12. 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12. Okay? Okay, and then I have w to the 5th times 4, which if I multiply 5 times 4, I get 20. Okay? Okay, so now I finding the power of a product. So that's if I have like a times b raised to the m power. Okay, so to find the power of a product, okay, so the power of a product, I apply or distribute the exponent to each factor, simplify any numbers, and write as a product. Okay, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so real quick over here, okay, if I have a times b to the m power, okay, I'm just distributing that. So I have a to the m times b to the m. Okay, so what that looks like down here. Now, if you just have numbers, you're going to leave it as powers. Okay, so it's like I'm distributing this third to both. It's not 2 times 3, it's 2 to the third because it's a power, so it needs to stay as a power. So times 4 to the third. Okay, now this one's different than this one, okay, because this one has a variable. Okay, so if there's a variable, you're going to end up simplifying those numbers. Okay, so I'm distributing this to both. Okay, so I have 2 thirds x thirds, x to the third. 2 to the third, x to the third. Not 2 thirds, I'm sorry. It's been a long day. Okay, so we have 2 to the third. So if I have a variable, so you're simplifying any numbers if there's a variable. If there's no variables, I want you to leave it like we did on the foldable. Okay, so if there's no variable, I want you to leave it like we did on the foldable. Okay, but on these ones, I want you to actually simplify this. Okay, so 2 thirds is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And then I have 8x to the third. Okay, so you can't simplify this at all. Okay, but I was able to simplify the 2 to the third. Okay, so over here, when I distribute this squared, remember I'm not distributing like a 2 times 2. Okay, I'm doing 3 squared, x squared, y squared. Okay, 3 squared is 9, and then I leave x squared and y squared. So again, you're only simplifying the numbers if there's a variable. Okay, and then I wrote it as a product, meaning I write them right next to each other. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now you're going to go do all these U tries. Okay. And then when you do your quick check tomorrow, so for your quick check, when you grade these in OneNote, okay, each is worth half a point. So you might be able to give yourself 2.5 or something like that if you get 5 of them right. Okay? Okay, so you're going to do all these U tries now.